Hello patrons, and welcome to the monthly exclusive Patreon video for the month of January 2019, being recorded on February 2nd and getting to you, hopefully, February 2nd. The only reason it may not is, of course, there could always be something on my end, but right now Patreon's website is, well, it's kind of been up and down. They've been having some sort of issue with processing payments, so if you don't see Patreon, take their payment from you guys for a few days, that's why they're actually having issues. And it's caused them to put their site into maintenance mode and out of maintenance mode. And into maintenance mode and out of it. It's like the world's worst hokey pokey. So hopefully they'll get that fixed pretty soon. But if you see any weird oddities with not being charged, it should take in just a few days. It'll probably go through. That's also why this video might not be up in time, because their site might not work. But hopefully you'll see this soon. So first things first, let's talk about January. Because January, as many of you are very aware of, is the first month of the year. And not the one that I would expect to be so jam-packed with stuff. But it was. And we've really hit 2019, hit the ground running. There's been so much going on. I've been 2 weeks behind with the vlog for a week or more, and that's not what I expected in 2019, but we've also had some company. So let me start by going up to the top of this list, and I'll talk about some of these things. First things first, Grand Theft Auto Online is back, and that is a big deal to me personally. It's one of my favorite series to produce. I love just recording with everybody. Dan really loves editing the series, and it's so good to have it back on the channel. And I feel bad because it was gone for months when we had very consistently been releasing one a month for a year and a half or something like that. So we had been continually you're going to get it the first Saturday of every month. Boom, 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 boom. And then all of a sudden it's not there. And the reason it wasn't there is because I had this big plan about how I was going to finish Fallout, and then I was going to release Doomsday, and I was going to do all this stuff. And then, of course, everything crumbled. Nothing went according to plan. And because of it, I kept holding on to this Doomsday heist. And whenever I finally redid the schedule and decided that Fallout was just going to come out when it's going to come out, I'm going to go to full 3 other slots otherwise. It made sense to just release Doomsday. There's no reason to keep holding this. The good news is, at least, is we had been releasing an episode, every month. And Doomsday has 9 videos in it, and they're all full-length GTA episodes. It's not the typical, we've got 10 people and we're going to be playing Frogger type thing, but they are full-length episodes, and you're getting 9 of them. It's essentially like getting 9 months worth of GTA content in the span of 1 month. So it's kind of nice that we, are catching up. GTA wasn't on the channel for 9 months, but at least now we can say, well, here's 9 months worth of GTA. Sorry about that. We'll do better next time. It's kind of the hope. And GTA really is a series that we love to do. And, our group is also wondering, when are we going to record it again? So that's going to be happening soon. Other things happened in January. Obviously, ChefCon took place through the end of December, but also we had people still here in January. So the first few days, we still had, a few folks in town. And then Emile Massé visited, and they were here for a few days. And, having company is wonderful, and I love it. And I love having Emile Massé also, but it's, always a little stressful. It takes away from work. And, for as fun as it was to have them here, it was a few days that, we got behind, because of that. That being said, those vlogs are great. The first one is out now. I actually just released it before I started recording this. And the other ones that are set to release, well, I have to make them, but that will be releasing soon, are also very good. And I hope you watch them. Specifically, the one after this. So not the 18th of January, but the 19th. It's very long. Shot a lot of footage, and I'm looking forward to getting it out there so people can enjoy it. So yeah, that was half of the month in terms of there's people visiting and we have to prepare for that, and we have to prepare content, and then when they're here we can't work, etc. That was half of the craziness. But the other half is things that happened. First off, keychains restocked. That didn't add to the craziness. I just wanted to let you know. If you didn't manage to get a keychain the first go-round, Fangamer did choose to restock them. That was out of my control. It was just up to them whether they wanted to or not. They ordered, from what I understand, like half as many as the first batch. And after this, I kind of doubt they would ever reprint it. You know, it seems unlikely that it's something they're just going to hold on to in the store, especially because I've been to their warehouse, I guess is the word for it, and it seems like they're constantly running out of space. So I'm sure that once they sell off these, the odds of them ever reprinting it for reals, it would be pretty low. Now, we might work with them again in the future to make something new, which would be really cool, but as far as like these keychains coming back, it's like, I don't know about that. So if you didn't manage to get one, they are right now still available on Fangamer's website, so go do that. They're great. I have quite a few. I've given a few to friends because they had sent me some extra, but I keep a few around the house anytime I need to screw in a tripod, like I'm doing now, because I wanted to go hands-free today so I could do all the hand motions. So I can do like a dinosaur. I'm not good at hand motions, but you get the idea. Other things happened. Didn't grab it, but let me show you something. And this is going to be the subject of a vlog, but I just thought this was cool. This is a new N64 game. I don't know if you've heard of this, but this is 40 Winks. There were 296 North American N64 games. Now there's 297. And again, this is going to get a vlog dedicated to it and talking a little bit about it and putting it in an actual system. But the quick version is this game was supposed to come out 20 years ago. There was an N64 version and a PlayStation version planned. The N64 version got scrapped at the last second. The PS1 version came out, so you can buy 40 Winks on PS1. But there was an N64 version that was basically done and just, disappeared into the ether. And another company, Pico Interactive, picked up the rights, held a Kickstarter, and actually produced it. And it works. And it's weird, to play a brand new N64 game. It's strange. And what's so neat is that the game looks really good. Like, it's probably one of the best looking and best sounding, because it's like, at least for the cutscenes, are like fully voice acted N64 games I've ever seen. And it just came out. So it's really neat. I think it's super cool, and there will be a vlog talking about that in the future. But I threw that into this list because that was just, how often do you get to see a brand new N64 game? Not very often. All right, now let's get into the other half of January and why I thought it was so crazy. It was all of the new equipment. Like, we had wanted to get some new stuff, but we wasn't sure like exactly when it was going to happen. We knew we wanted to get a streaming computer eventually. We knew that we wanted to buy that Blackmagic Cinema camera eventually, but all of that stuff happened in January, and that was weird. That was really weird. There was one breakfast stream where after it ended, I just went to Amazon because I'd just been checking every day to see if I could get this camera, and there it was at MSRP, and I was like, oh my god, order. And since then, I'm pretty sure, I'll check again, but I'm pretty sure it's still unavailable. Like, you still can't get this thing. Try not to bump you guys. Sorry. Nope. Oh, well, they have one. MSRP on this camera is $12.99. They have one for $21.99, which is what I had been dealing with until I managed to get mine at the actual MSRP. So, still can't get this camera. And I've loved it. We've been using it for the breakfast streams. We shot mail with it. The mail came out a little bit yellow. That's not the fault of the camera. That was Dan grading it and I think Dan had just never graded anything flat before. And that falls to me because I looked at it and gave it my approval. And, it was one of those things that I was like, yeah, this is fine. I step away from it, come back to it later, and I was like, oh, it's yellow. But it's fine. We'll fix it for, another production in the future. But the camera looks really good, and we're not even scratching the surface of what the thing is capable of. If we wanted to, we could shoot literally raw footage and grade the crap out of it, and that's just super thrilling. I'm really hoping that sometime in 2019 we get to do more live action videos to kick off Let's Plays like we did for Ocarina of Time and Pikmin. I would love to do that. I'd love to really put this camera through its paces in that way, and maybe, hopefully, make some other weird thing with the camera as well. So that's the hope. So we got the camera, we got the computer, because Jeff had been working on coming up with a parts list. He came up with a parts list. We put it together. The hardest build I've ever done. Oh my god. But now we have a streaming computer, a dedicated streaming computer, and it's amazing, and it works really well. What I really want to do is start trying to, do some gaming streams with it, obviously. It's hard to force myself to do that when I still have other things to do, because I know that trying to take on too much at once is what leads to getting behind in the first place. So I'm trying to be very cautious and careful about it, but I'm trying to, at the bare minimum, do at least like a gaming stream a month. I know I ended up not doing one in January because we ended up having company, but I'd like to do at least one in February. Just kind of force myself to at least do one, like one big one, one nice one, and start getting comfortable using the computer for that purpose as well. And also put the strap on it so I can carry it like a GameCube and bring it in here, because that's important as well. Also just got some other production equipment stuff, like the C-stand. The C-stand is such a necessity. We have needed that forever, and to actually have it is so nice. Very affordable for what it is. The only problem is that it's gigantic, and it's kind of a reminder that we are, especially in 2019, really pushing into this lifestyle of trying to make everything the best it can be, upping our equipment in whatever ways we can to increase the viewing pleasure of the audience, I guess. And is it worth it? Yes. Yes, I think so. Is it worth it to have a giant metal thing in your living room at all times? I think so, personally, yes. But that's another aspect of this, is a camera. The C-stand, the computer. There's all this new equipment entering our home. And I'll probably talk, before this Patreon video is over, I'm going to talk about some other new equipment stuff that we have on the horizon. And then finally, what happened in January, we'll say sick, but I don't feel necessarily sick. I got dizzy for a few days, and I just went to the doctor and found out that it's an ear infection, which I suspected by the last day, just for the fact that my ear started to feel like it was on fire. And whenever I went to the doctor, I was wearing a red Coca-Cola shirt, and she looked in this ear and she said, everything looks good there. She looked in this ear and she says, your ear is as red as your shirt. And I was like, cool, perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. But I'm on some antibiotics, and I don't feel great, but I'm fine. It's just a matter of getting the antibiotics in my system, and hopefully by this time next week, I'll be good. I'm still dizzy, which is not great, but again, hopefully within a week it won't matter. Within a week, I'll feel good. All right, so next up, let's talk about the things that are happening in February. And there's not a lot. This is actually, all things considered, probably a pretty short Patreon video. After Grand Theft Auto Online, I'm going to be filling that slot with the Extra Life VODs. I really can't wait any longer to release those. I've got to get those out, because people are going to start forgetting what that event even was. There's already people that have plenty of questions about, like, what is Peggy? And I don't have a video to link them to. I could link them to, like, a Twitch clip, but I can't be like, here's the YouTube video that explains everything. And that's terrible. So I want to get those out. And right now, the objective is to release those in the same slot as GTA Online. So Doomsday will end, and then the Extra Life VODs will start showing up. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, there's a lot of those. They're going to be on the channel for a long time if you're running 3 LP slots. You're right. It's not how I want to do it. Ideally, I would drop back down to 2 slots. I would drop back down to just running Red Dead and Smash, and I would put Extra Life, like, coming out in the evenings, and release it, like, every day or every weekday for a month until it's out. So it wasn't interfering with other stuff. That's how I want to do it. That being said, again, it goes back to this other mentality of, like, trying to stay focused, trying not to take on too much, because what I want to do is I want to make sure I continue to have as much of a buffer as I possibly can, because I'm still trying to catch up on stuff. Right now I'm catching up on the new timeline, and that's not great. And I know that's because Emil Massé visited, and because we were still coming off of ChefCon, and I'm going to get caught up on that. But, like, I'm still getting caught up on that. I'm still working on Fallout. It's not done. And then we've got 3 months of old timeline still left to do. So, like, it's one of those things, you know, Extra Life VODs, I could release them every day in addition to other content. But if I don't, I've got 20-something days of content done. And that's huge. Like, that's an immense help. That's not how I want to do it. That's just how I feel like I probably should until something gets fixed. I mean, I could start releasing it in a normal slot, and then something in my life changes where, like, Fallout gets done, or Old Timeline's almost done, or something, and I could start releasing them differently, more quickly. But in the meantime, they're just going to take up a normal slot, and will have to be enjoyed, you know, like that. Again, it's not how I want to do it, but if I want to have any hope of ever getting, like, Fallout and the Old Timeline done, I have to do it like this. I've got to get these old weights off my shoulders. One other thing that's going to be happening in February, though, that you probably be interested in, is that since Doomsday is ending, we're going to resume the normal Grand Theft Auto Online recordings. So if you've missed those, if you've missed the banter between everybody, that'll be back. And I don't even know exactly what we're going to do. It's probably just going to feel weird because we haven't played in so long. And also, when we last played, I still had money. I have since spent basically all my money on the Doomsday heist, so I don't know how much money I'll have left. But you know, it'll be fun to just get back into that game with everybody and shoot that content. So we will be recording a episode of that in February to hopefully release, like, the first Saturday in March, and that'll be the goal. That's it. That's really all that's happening in February, because, like, again, my focus has got to stay on catching up. There's a lot of cool ideas I have for the channels. There's a lot of things I want to pursue for, you know, Twitch also, but I've got to keep myself on the leash, because I know myself, and I know that if I let myself run too far, I will choke myself badly, and I'll dangle off a bridge or something. All right, so now the things that are happening in the future. Earlier I had talked about all the new equipment that we had already gathered in 2019. And the one question that I got a lot whenever we got the Blackmagic camera is this the new vlog camera? And the answer to that is no. It would be a terrible vlog camera. For whatever reason, Blackmagic, like, thought maybe that it could be marketed as a vlog camera. Maybe, I don't know. They put a record, the record button's on the top, but they put another record button on the front. And I'm like, who's going to use this as a vlog camera? The thing doesn't have continuous autofocus. Like, that's kind of important. If you're going to film yourself, you kind of want to make sure that it's always, you know, keeping you in focus. So no, that is strictly a production camera. It's a great camera, but the idea behind it is to stay here or to be taken out and handled by someone who is going to be doing things behind the scenes. So if we do, you know, another one of those Ocarina of Time live action videos, etc., we would probably use the Blackmagic, but it has to have a camera operator. That being said, I have been on the lookout for a new vlog camera. The one we're currently using is the Panasonic Lumix LX10. It's a great camera. I do like it. It has certainly some flaws, and also I have that personal vendetta against Panasonic as a camera maker for how they decided to handle the situation when the LX10 was having issues. But I have been on the lookout. And this next part I'll try to go over very briefly because the camera nerds will be interested and everyone else will be like, what are you talking about? I've been hoping for a Sony a7000. That's what I want to exist. And I've been waiting on it for a few months along with the Blackmagic. a little more excited for the Blackmagic. But I've been waiting for the Sony a7000, reading a lot of rumor sites, kind of waiting for them to announce it at this event. Okay, well, maybe this event, because theoretically, for what all the rumors were, it sounded like it could really check all the boxes for what the next level vlogging camera could be. And then just a week or so ago, Sony did come out with a new camera, and it was the A6400. And I was like, oh, okay. And it is a good camera. It is probably, in many ways, better than what I'm using. It probably, like in almost every area, I'd say it's probably almost certainly better than what I'm using. The big question is it good enough to warrant going to that camera when it's not what you were hoping for? I don't know, and that's the question I've been really asking myself over the last 2 days. The camera won't be out until the end of February. As a reminder, we're going to Japan at the very beginning of April. So if I wanted to have a new vlog camera for that trip, this is certainly a good timing. I could get this camera, become familiar with it throughout the month of March, and have something new to shoot on in Japan. The question is, do I want to spend the money to do that when maybe a year down the line we actually will get the A7000 or a camera that has similar specs? I don't know. So that's a decision I'm going to have to make. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. There could be a new vlog camera this year in the next few months, maybe before Japan, or I might just say, forget it. I'm just going to stick with the LX10 for a while and see, what comes out in the future. We'll see. We'll see. It checked some good boxes. It really did. The A6400 checked some good boxes, but it left some other ones blank, and it's just like, is that okay? Can I leave these blank? Is that enough of a jump? I don't know. Anyway, other things that are happening. In March, actually, we are taking, it's a short overnight thing. We're going to Charlotte. And we're just going briefly because we are doing, and I don't remember what it's called. Mal knows the details of all this. It's like TSA PreCheck, but it's global. So so if you're traveling internationally, which we will be twice this year, you get PreCheck, but internationally, which is really cool. And I think you also get PreCheck domestically too. And the price difference is not actually all that different from domestic PreCheck. So if you do a lot, or at least a little, international travel, it might be worth your while to look into it. Unfortunately, I don't remember what it's called. But Mal really had an interest in doing it, and I was like, all right, we'll do that. We'll sign up for it. And it's good for 5 years, which is a long time. So we're going to go to Charlotte overnight because they have to you have to go to certain airports that actually give it to you, and they have to interview you. So it's a big involved process, but we're going to be doing that in March. And then the last thing to announce is that there is another event planned for this year. We are going to be going to, I couldn't even tell you where we're going if I wanted to because I don't know. But there is an event in May, and I can't tell you what it is because it is not our event. You're welcome to guess, but I can't answer you. I can't be like, oh, that's right or that's wrong. I'll just tell you that there's an event coming in May, and you'll definitely like it. I don't know. Maybe look to last year for hints. Say that. Maybe that's too much, but whatever. And then finally, Japan is in 2 months now. We leave on April 1st. We're going to be gone for 2 weeks. I'm super excited about it. It's also one of the things that makes me kind of want to do a new camera. It's something even better, something that's got more features or whatever. When I'm going to Japan, that's really exciting. But the truth is, it doesn't matter. I'm still satisfied with the LX10. I'm just really excited to go to Japan, and we'll be there with a wide variety of people. People that I know that are going. Chaz, Jeff, Lindsay, Dan, Alex, Haley, I think, is the full roster. And there could be more people. There's some other people that are kind of still up in the air, but I think those are the confirmed people. So it's going to be fun. We're going to be spending most of our time in Tokyo. We do have a trip planned, at least a day or two. Again, Mal takes care of most of this stuff. To Kyoto, because we never got to Kyoto the last time we were in Japan. And then I believe we're going to be spending at least one evening up near Nagano at the Ryokan. So all those things are happening. It's very exciting. I'm looking forward to just shooting the heck out of Japan. There's a part of me that wants to take the Blackmagic camera, and I should really beat that part of me down with a stick, because that's a lot of effort to haul that camera, because it's so much bigger and the file sizes are insane. But I might. We'll see how crazy I end up being, but I'm looking forward to that. And next month, I know that some of you have like recommendations that you're just biting at the bit to tell me. Just hold them for one more month, because next month, at the beginning of March, is when I'm going to just straight up ask for all recommendations you guys want us to check out. I'll share it with the group, and anything we want to check out and do, we'll do. But it's going to be a good time, and I'm looking forward to being in that place, obviously, but then being there with these close friends of mine should be fun, and should also produce some really, I think, excellent video. And that's part of why I'm so excited as well. And that's it. I guess the Patreon video ended up being a little bit longer than I thought it would, but that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting us, and then also, I don't know if I always phrase it this way, but like believing in us, believing in what we do. We sincerely appreciate it, and we're just trying to keep our heads up and get things done and caught up, and try to push forward on all of the things that we want to try and achieve this year, because it's a lofty. We have some lofty goals in 2019, but we've already done so much. Like this first month of 2019 is like, oh, okay, production up. So now what's the next step from there? And we're going to try and use February to get caught up on some stuff, and then hopefully when I'm talking to you guys next month, we're going to be pushing things forward, and maybe we'll see where Fallout is. God. What a project. I had no idea what I signed on for all those years ago. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope all of you have a fantastic February. And as always, leave your comments here on Patreon, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I'll see you next month for another Patreon video.